It's 10 o'clock. You know where your children are?
From WREG in Memphis, this is News Channel 3 at 10.
Nothing would be worse than declaring victory before the victory is won. That would be the greatest loss of all. Therefore, the next 2 weeks and during this period, it's very important that everyone strongly follow the guidelines.
Hearing from President Trump there as he's urging the public to stay vigilant as he announces that he's extending social distancing guidelines for another month. This comes as the coronavirus pandemic continues to spread nationwide. And here are today's coronavirus headlines in the Mid-South as Shelby County reports more than 360 cases, keeping the lead with the most in the state. Adding those new cases brings Tennessee's total to more than 1,500. In Mississippi, DeSoto County now has 71 cases. The state's overall total is now more than 750 today. That is up from 663 yesterday. And in Arkansas, Crittenden County now has 15 cases. The state total is now at 449. And with Shelby County reporting so many new cases, Mayor Jim Strickland wants everyone to do their part to stop the spread with social distancing and now masks. Thanks for joining us for the news at 10. I'm Janine Lewis. Now, the hope here is to stop the community transmission. WREG's Quamitra Wilburn joins us now live downtown. And Quamitra, what do doctors have to say about the benefits of wearing masks?
Well, Janae, you know, doctors had been telling us for weeks that masks were really only beneficial to people who are actually sick, you know, preventing those people from spreading their germs to healthy people and thus passing on the sickness and their infections. But now elected leaders like Memphis Mayor Jim Strickland, he says that face masks are proven to reduce the transmission of the infection.
We don't have clear evidence yet, but wearing a mask may help.
Infectious disease physician Dr. Manoj Jain says wearing masks may be beneficial in stopping the spread of coronavirus. Take, for instance, Tom Lee Park, where people gather in large numbers, despite the stay-at-home orders across the county. But Sunday evening, we noticed several people wearing masks. Dr. Jain says masks are likely most beneficial to those who are sick or at high risk. That includes the elderly and those with weak immune systems.
Masks have two purposes. One, you can stop an infection from coming to you, or the other purpose is causing someone else to get infected.
The city of Memphis and Shelby County Joint COVID Task Force says there is no clear evidence for the general public to wear a mask. However, given the widespread transmission of COVID-19, the public may need to consider wearing one. But with an ongoing shortage, for most people, masks may be hard to come by. Dr. Jain says the CDC recommends wearing other facial coverings if necessary.
We know that masks work and masks can help. However, we don't have evidence if cloth mask or a handkerchief or bandana would be useful.
Dr. Jain says doctors are seeing an increase in the numbers of COVID-19 cases daily, and there's no telling when we will reach a peak. He says it's going to take the community doing its part to flatten the curve.
If we have people using any type of facial covering, a mask, or doing social distancing, staying 6 feet away, it will make a significant difference in reducing the infection rate.
Now, face masks aren't going to stop the spread of coronavirus alone. No, you need to make sure you're doing your part by practicing social distancing and also making sure that you're practicing proper hygiene. Live in downtown Memphis, Quamitra Wilburn, WREG News Channel 3.
And before we get to more of today's coronavirus headlines, we want to give you a quick check of our forecast with WREG weather expert Wendy Nations. And Wendy, you're tracking some rain coming into the forecast.
Certainly am. And, well, this day was beautiful. It was a beautiful spring day across the Mid-South, and now it's led into a very quiet evening for the entire News Channel 3 viewing area. As we check in with Storm Tracker 3S, you can see that we do have some rain, light showers just to the south of us, all associated with a frontal boundary that's down around the Gulf. We have high pressure that's in control of our weather, and it's kept us basically in partly cloudy skies today, and we're going to remain partly cloudy overnight. Our temperature currently 60 degrees, and the winds are light from the south around 2 to 5 miles an hour. This is what we can expect overnight. Partly to mostly cloudy conditions. We should remain dry. That allows temperatures to fall tonight into the lower 50s. So when we wake up tomorrow morning, we'll be dry, 53 degrees. We'll see the sun rise around 7 o'clock. 52, and we'll warm quickly by tomorrow afternoon. If you like today, we'll see a repeat with a few extra clouds. I'll tell you when rain will enter the forecast and how many inches of rain we'll receive coming up in your long-term forecast.
All right, thanks, Wendy. Meanwhile, people not far from us in Jonesboro, Arkansas are recovering today after a tornado ripped through the city last night. Take a look at that storm coming through right there. Because of what you see today, Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson declared Jonesboro a disaster area. The National Weather Service reports an EF3 tornado with 140-mile-per-hour winds hit Jonesboro. It caused this extensive damage, not just to homes, but businesses and other infrastructure. People who live in Jonesboro tells us this devastation you see happened quickly.
Seconds. It was literally seconds. I had just got the door shut, told her not to come out or even open the door until she heard my voice. And then I turned around and boom, it was there.
Extremely scary. And later last night, Governor Hutchinson tweeted he was grateful no lives were lost. Thankfully, today was also declared a special day of prayer as the state not only battles the storms, the damage and recovery you see there, but the coronavirus pandemic. Hard to believe, but today actually marks 1 month since the first recorded death in the United States. Since then, the death toll has unfortunately surged to more than 2,300. Confirmed cases topping 132,000, and those are still growing. Nicole Killian explains what the White House now wants to do to slow things down.
As President Trump convened his coronavirus task force, stark new projections from some of its key members about the toll the pandemic could take on the United States.
I would say between 100 and 200,000 cases, but I don't want to be held to that because it's deaths.
No state, no metro area will be spared.
The warnings come as the president deliberated over rolling back CDC guidelines to slow the spread of the virus.
As the president fiddles, people are dying, and we just have to take every precaution.
Late Saturday, the president reversed course on enforcing a quarantine for the New York tri-state area, scrapping the idea for a travel advisory.
It really panicked people. They were going to leave the city last night.
With 1 in 3 Americans under stay-at-home orders, Mr. Trump has suggested reopening parts of the country by Easter.
We think in 2 weeks around Easter, we're going to be looking a lot more like New York.
On Face the Nation, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin wouldn't say how soon the economy could be up and running, but he said stimulus checks from the $2.2 trillion aid package will help ease the gap.
We expect that within 3 weeks, that people who have direct deposit with information with us will see those direct deposit in their bank accounts.
That was Nicole Killian reporting, and as we told you, health officials project alarming numbers as this pandemic continues. The nation's top infectious disease expert says coronavirus deaths in the U.S. could reach 100 to 200,000. The virus has already killed more than 2,000 Americans, but he says potential outcomes will vary.
Whenever the modelers come in, they give a worst case scenario and a best case scenario. Generally, the reality is somewhere in the middle. I've never seen a model of the diseases that I've dealt with, which the worst case scenario actually came out.
The U.S. has the most confirmed cases worldwide with more than 121,000 as of yesterday morning. Numerous hospitals across the country expect to run out of beds within 2 weeks as these cases continue to rise. Take a look at the numbers in the Mid-South, where there are 14 reported COVID-19 deaths just in Mississippi, some in our area, which include 1 in DeSoto County, 1 in Tunica County, and 2 in Tippah County. Now in Tennessee, officials report 7 deaths, 1 of those in Shelby County. And in Arkansas, the health department says 6 people have died from COVID-19. None of those deaths were reported in our area. And one of those Arkansas deaths was a Little Rock woman, and tonight her sister has a strong message. Claire Cruz shares the warning for those who say this will only affect certain people.
This went from okay to horrible.
Just 2 weeks ago, Latia Wright got a call from her sister, Tanisha Cotton, saying she was feeling a little sick.
She had a sinus infection, maybe a cold.
As a respiratory therapist, Wright knew she needed to keep an eye on the symptoms. But Tuesday, everything changed.
She's having to pull a chair out and sit down, just trying to make it from one area to the next.
From shortness of breath to a cough that just wouldn't go away.
I said, you know, that's different than the average cold.
Wright knew something was off.
You need to pack your things and meet me at the hospital.
Tuesday night, Cotton was admitted and eventually tested for COVID-19. Wright says eventually that test came back positive.
This virus is strong. This virus is horrible. This virus is something like any other virus that we have ever seen.
Cotton was put in the intensive care unit, then on a ventilator, and in just 4 days.
This morning I got a phone call and it was her nurse, and he was stating that they were coding my sister.
She was gone.
She thought she had a cold.
Her sister says she was 42 years old, no underlying health conditions. In fact, this was her first stay at a hospital.
This virus is for everybody, not a sick person, not the weak. It will take you out no matter what age you are.
Now Wright is pleading with the public to take this virus seriously.
Stay indoors, don't come out.
Because if it can hit her family, she says it can hit anyone.
I am here as a respiratory therapist, and it has struck my home, my family, and I'm lost for words.
Can't imagine, right? Hopes by sharing her sister's story, people will understand just how serious the coronavirus is. She urges the public to please stay inside, not just to protect yourself, but also your friends and family. And don't forget, you can see all the changes as new reports come in every day online at WREG.com. You can even take us with you on the go by downloading the WREG News app. We have a crime alert to tell you about tonight as Memphis police need your help tracking down a group of men accused of attacking a man in front of a store. Take a look at these pictures that MPD released. They say 3 men attacked a man in front of the Smooth Wireless on Park Avenue. It happened yesterday. They left the store in a tan SUV with damage to the front bumper. Take a good look at these pictures on your screen. If you can help police track them down, call Crime Stoppers. That number is on your screen, 528-CASH. And Memphis police also need your help finding another group of men accused of going on a dining and dashing adventure, all while in a stolen car. Police say 3 men in a red Toyota RAV4 went to CK Coffee Shop on Highland, ordered food, and took off without paying the bill. MPD later discovered the SUV they were driving was stolen. A car has been returned to the owner, but police are still looking for these 3 men on your screen right there. If you know who they are, call Crime Stoppers. Right now, the U.S. government is preparing to send money to most Americans. So coming up next on News Channel 3 at 10, we'll break down when you can expect to receive the money and give you tips to make sure that it makes it to you. And if you see news happening in your neighborhood, let us know. Call WREG at 901-543-2333. Email newstips@WREG.com, or you can just message us on Facebook.